not necessarily afraid of the dark.
There's that other.
It's more so.
There's that other covered one over there.
Where?
Like,
Oh, shit over there? Wanna
yeah.
go that way? Is that good?
That's up to you. Yeah.
This is like a random person over there.
Shalom, Miss Paka.
It's the biggest park ever.
It is.
Right? We're gonna actually move to, I think, straight over there where there's more seating. This one's a little dark. And it's wet. Dark. Okay, so we're gonna.
We can get over there and hold all the tables.
Oh, that's fine. We're just moving. If you're live, you're just a part of me. It's Thursday today. So my point, we want to appeal. Yeah. Grab these. I'm gonna take you good? You good? Okay.
Maybe. I mean, I'm in sandals, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah, straight up.
Let's not leave us.
Oh. You sure you gotta get your guitar, right?
I'm gonna get both of them.
Oh,
You need.
oh, it's all good. I'm fine with this.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. I'm sorry. You want to do what? It's still going. I was trying to adjust it because it's crooked, but this thing has been that way and I don't know why exactly. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
This thing has like a little. This thing. It's supposed to. Yes.
Doesn't it just lift it or no?
It turns it too,
Okay.
like straight,
Mhm.
and then it's kind of backwards somewhere. Wait, it's forward. Okay. So that goes that way, and then this tightens.
I got that.
Oh, okay.
The main
So we're
thing I
good.
just couldn't get was that.
Go straight now.
She's right there.
All right. And okay, so I'm gonna pass out papers, and then we're gonna introduce ourselves again because we have more selves to be introduced. And then we'll get going. This will go by pretty fast. Then we just hang out because I want you to snap. Okay, so if you don't have one of these, just raise your hand. Come here. Anything like there you go. If you don't have pins, can we just like Can you share if you have extra pins, you know, or pencil? Doesn't have to be a
Friends, I can play now. Come on. Wait. Okay. I'm not plugging my ear. Okay.
You gotta come back here because I have like a little stop. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Who else? Tater taters? We're not gonna play the guitar right now, though. Oh, I pushed the volume. Okay. I'm gonna do this kind of like this. That way. Like good.
How you doing, sir? Sorry to take a bigger spot.
Okay, so everybody has one of these. Okay, we're gonna go around and just kind of did earlier. If you already did it, let's do it again. Your name, where you're from. That'll be a good place to start. So I'm Huldah. I'm from California, and we're currently, for people who are online, in Houston, Texas. In what's the name of this park? Herman Park. Okay. So we'll go this way. If you don't want to be online, just raise your hand now. Okay. Okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, go around so everybody knows.
All right.
Okay.
My name is Jessie Roberts.
Okay.
And I'm from San Antonio River, San Antonio.
Okay.
And these are my daughters, Jalissa, Janaya, and Jayla, and Julia, right here.
Okay.
I want to go
Okay. All right. Swing it. Who's next? Just pop right here.
I am Patrice Turner, also known as Linda. I do write for the Royal and Chosen magazine, ladies.
Woo! Okay, we need to know more about that. Go ahead.
Try to put the plug in real quick.
No, tell now. Tell us now.
Royal and Chosen magazine, we are online.
Okay.
As well as we just started our publication, so you can go to royalandchosen.com and your magazine will come to the house for a subscription of $8.99, and it comes out at the end of each month. We did just do a special Passover issue that will be coming out at the end of this month. You all subscribe.
So Royal and Chosen magazine.
It's a magazine just for all of our coaches. We write for women that are married, single, coming into truth, new parents, blended families. We have herbal. It's a big array.
Ooh, awesome. Okay.
Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay. Okay.
Mahogany Israel. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., but we now reside here in Houston.
Okay.
I am Andrika. Okay, Andrika. And I'm from Louisiana. Born in Houston, so trying to come back home.
I'm Lauren Nefesha. I'm from Jersey. Probably in Atlanta right now. And mosaic artist. And
Hi, I'm Saki, and I'm originally from Louisiana. Currently reside in DC, and I'm here with my daughter.
Shalom, I'm Denise.
That's fine. She's Denise.
And my son, they're over there, and our baby son.
All right.
I'm Jasmine. I'm originally from Water,
Okay.
today, and I'm currently living in Central Louisiana.
I'm Gladys. I'm from Austin, Texas. But originally, I'm from the Philippines.
Awesome.
I'm Adriana. I'm from San Marcos.
My daughter.
My name is Kalia, and I'm from San Marcos.
Okay. All right.
My name is Michelle, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right.
My name is Kiana. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm from the Philippines.
Okay. All right. So now we kind of all know each other, so it makes things a little more comfortable. We're gonna go over a word today This is out of, if Rika has the book, she can hold it up and I'll show people online. It's out of the front page is out of Wisdom Builds. And it's, oh, I have it. Because I have it. That one. It's out of here. And I'm going to show you how the book works. Because one of the things that happened when I put this out, people were like, well, how do you use it? And I was like, oh. Yeah, that's the thing. I know how to use it because I made it, but how do you use it when it's in your hands? So in the process of trying to figure out how to show everybody else how to use it, there's also a workbook. And we're going to go through and I print out the portion of the workbook that corresponds with this page. So that we can work through it together, you can see how it works, and you can see how by getting the Hebrew words and letters in your head, in your mind, in your heart, how it changes how we previously view things, but not just changes it to cause cognitive dissonance, but I'm so cool. But changes it so that we can actually put it into action, because that's the most important part. And so what we've been doing is as we travel, on Sundays, because we do on Shabbat, of course, on Sundays we get together, do this, and then kind of hang out. And the purpose is, if we go, let's say, there's like 60 words in here. Let's say we go 60 places. We do 60 words, everybody's working and going through the same process, learning the same things. Then as we get together in community, we can then communicate better. We don't have to do so much of the head knowledge, because when the head knowledge becomes heart knowledge and we get together and hang out, it makes it easier to hang out with Hebrews. One of the things that has happened over time is that they say, especially with Black women, you guys can't get together because you can't agree on anything, and then there's this and there's that, and there's always this weird contention. And the father is like, yeah, because you don't have a base or foundation on how to deal with one another. You don't know how to use good judgment. You don't know how to communicate with one another, how to respectfully disagree about things. And not just disagree about it because you don't want to deal with the fact that you may be wrong, but to actually say, okay, we don't agree with that, but we're going to work to a conclusion, because that's how you fracture in a family or anything. If you're married, if you're single, your friends, when you get to that point where it's like, okay, we don't see eye to eye on that, there has to be the step on how do we see eye to eye. And that is the beauty of Torah. Because there is a middle ground, a meeting place, and there is a right answer. When I was in college, I remember we were in philosophy, and it was like, there's no absolute truth. Have everybody's heard that? There's no such thing as absolute truth. And I was like, you just made an absolutely true statement. Like, you just said something that you want me to believe is absolutely true. And the reality is there is a such thing as absolute truth. There is a such thing as this works, it functions, and you can test it, and it happens over and over and over again. Well, we have to put those things back into our culture so that we can walk in spirit and in truth. A lot of us are operating purely in spirit sometimes, and that spirit is not often Yah spirit because it's not always truth. So how do we get back to that base place? Does that make sense? And so doing it in a setting, one, with women who agree, it creates a, I hate to use this word because it's out, but a confederacy. But a confederacy not based on necessarily racism or racial divide, but a confederacy based upon, when I see you, I should know where we stand as a people, as women, as Hebrews. I shouldn't be confused, like, okay, so are you a Hebrew that's kind of like this? Are you one of these? Why? Because all those fractures come based upon misunderstandings. And so, how do we all come to the same place? We come to this place, and there's shalom, which is balance, wholeness, peace, where we're not like, oh, he's sitting over there, he does Shabbat on Thursdays, so we're not cool with him, because you get, it's a thing. It is, I'm telling you, there's like all these little things going on, and it's all based upon the fact that we don't want to sit down and look at things as a whole, get uncomfortable sometimes, and then get uncomfortable and bring it all back together. It's like pulling out a box, dumping all the contents in the middle of the floor. Let's sort through it. It's easier to sort through something as a whole than to try to do it as an individual. I know it is, because I'm like, I need to organize my closet, and I would definitely like to have a closet organizing party if you want to. But it's one of those things where if it's a task for one person, it's difficult, but if we can all do it, then it makes it fast. That makes sense? Okay, So the word I chose today, and it wasn't necessarily random, but it was a shorter one, so that we wouldn't spend all the way doing this, is the word discretion. It's a big one, right? Because why? Everybody has a different idea of what discretion is. They say, do it at your own discretion. And then somebody does that at their own discretion, you're like, you were not practicing discretion when you did that. But obviously, they thought they were, right? And so when we use words, especially English words, they have a driving force that goes along with it. But if we don't understand how to put the word into practice, or we only do it based upon what we understand it to be, or even English definition of what it is intended to be, it doesn't work, right? Okay, so let's think of discretion and some things that we, especially as women, have to use discretion on. Popcorn, we're talking. I don't want to do it.
Around children.
Huh? Around children. Very good. So we have to use discretion around children. What kind of things do we have to be discreet about around children?
Say.
Right.
Adult responsibilities.
Adult responsibilities.
Communicate what you say.
How you communicate what you say. Somebody else?
What you do.
What you do. Because they will limit, right? What else?
Our responses.
Our responses. Yes. Have you ever, I have daughters, so obviously I think they pay probably more attention to me.
Yeah.
So I'll say to something, and I'm like,
follow.
"Ooh, I must do that." I must be like, oh. So, what were you saying?
And they follow you.
And they follow you, yes, they mimic what you're doing. Okay, anything else?
Your emotions.
Your emotions, discretion on your emotions. How you express those emotions, right? Because we're, a lot of times as women, regardless of race, color, creed, or culture, a lot of how we respond is culturally, especially in the Western culture, it's like you have to respond often contrary to how you actually feel. And so then when you get to a place where you're like, I'm just tired of that, then we blow up all the time. It's 0 to 100. Real quick.
Yeah.
Nobody caught that? But that's often a thing. So we finding that balance between how to discreetly express yourself. Right? Okay, anything else? This is an obvious one, how we dress, right? What is the discretion on how we manage that? Because I have this, I'm always playing the devil's advocate, and I will do that today quite a bit. But I always have this thing where people are like, oh, that's not modest, or that's not discreet. And I'm like, okay, but you can take, for instance, I'll always use an example. Women in the Indian culture, you see how they dress. They actually wear mirror when they dress.
Yeah.
But nobody ever says that's not modest, right? Because mainly they're covered up, except for that part. And most things when you show, they go, wow, that's beautiful. That's so modest. And look how she's covered. Her head's covered. But then we don't necessarily in our walk. It doesn't carry over when we view with discretion. Okay, what is that? How is that expressed? What does that look like? Because I tell them all the time, you can be head wrapped straight to the floor, and I know some of the biggest hoes.
Yeah.
I know some of the meanest women who dress like that. I'm just being absolutely frank and honest about it. It's just the reality.
Yeah.
I know women who wear pants who are virgins, and I know women who wear skirts who always have their skirt.
Right.
I'm just being honest. I'm not saying what is right or wrong, I'm stating the obvious. So what is that discretion? How is it expressed? Right? And how do we all agree on what that is so that we're not all sitting in some kind of judgment and judging a person on how they're judging them according to how they're color and judging them based on our definition. And so that's why we chose this book. There's discretion and there's judgment. And because that is judgment drives everything that we do. One of the things, if you've heard of, don't get into the whole esoteric thing, the idea of literally keeping things in the forefront, how you react to things, how you deal with things, how you experience the world around you, and how you participate in the world around you, being mindful. One of the teachings that I think is one that we should all take and we thought, right? I react to something, judge myself first. That's difficult. My mom has this thing, and it's like it's a truth. She says, oftentimes the thing that you see wrong in somebody else is a thing that you have not gotten control of in yourself. When you get to the root cause, why does it irritate you so much? Why is that a thing? Why is it a trigger for you? Why when a person does it, either you want to do it and they're just bold enough to do it, right? Or you're secretly doing it, and so it's the human brain is weird, where it often wants to correct its wrongs, but it's easier to correct the wrong in somebody else than to fix it in yourself. Because if you can figure out how to fix it in somebody else, then you're like using them as a test subject to figure out how you can fix it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, discretion. So what we have in front of us, this part is from Wisdom Builds, this book. And then this portion, the back portion, is how the workbook works. And the purpose of the workbook is so that what we're doing today as a whole, you can do at home on your own. And that's the cool part, because you don't need somebody feeding you. What you need is tools in your hands so that you can come to the Ruach-based conclusion for yourself and put them in practice. Because some of the soul work that's necessary within our community needs to be done on an individual basis. It's difficult to do it in a group setting because it is our base nature to hide our sin or hide where we feel like we're inadequate. So when you get in a group, it's difficult to say, oh, you know what? I do have a problem with that. When you're sitting down by yourself and you have to write and reflect and you know nobody else is going to see it, it all pours out. If any of you don't journal, it's a wonderful thing to do. Even if it's just writing down, today I was irritated. And then why I was irritated. Because sometimes it's hard to express. Like me, I was telling Lauren, it's a friend of mine, my base reaction to everything is frustration. Like everything. If I take everything down to a root cause, I'm frustrated. Either I'm frustrated because I don't have time, frustrated because I don't have what I need to do, whatever I need to. It comes down to frustration. So whenever I express an emotion, it normally is like frustrated or happy. But being able to come to that conclusion about myself literally took sitting down with myself and saying, why are you frustrated? Why do you react like this? Why do you say X, Y, and Z? And the root cause is frustration. So then I go, how do I deal with my frustration? And so being able to journal or write things down allows you to get to that root cause with yourself. And then for me, and this is what we all have to get to a point of doing, then I can express that to whoever close to me. My option is frustration. So nobody can say, you're hateful. You're not what my base issue is. I'm frustrated. So if I'm upset, it's because I'm frustrated. If I'm hungry and I get angry, I'm frustrated. Right? And then it helps you better deal with me. So if you're like, oh, are you mad at me? I may not be mad, but I might be frustrated. Right? And then you can say, what did I do to frustrate you? See how that meant now you can communicate with me instead of making me more frustrated by saying, did I do something to offend you? No, but you just frustrated me. You see how that works? So journaling helps you get to that point where you understand yourself. And then when you're dealing with Hebrew words, they're going to agitate the core of who you are. They're going to disturb who you are. And so being able to write down how that makes you feel, instead of interjecting your feelings in the scripture, write down how it makes you feel, and then correct your feeling based upon the definition. Make sense? All right. If you don't have one of these in front of you, throw your hand up. I know there's some like extra copies floating around. Are there? There's some extras in here. Okay, so if you don't have this, you have the one. Okay. Anybody else not have these? Good. Okay, so this first page, if you want, you can just take it off. Go ahead and take that first part off because you're gonna pretty much work with the first part. We're gonna read through quickly what the definition based upon the Hebrew language, Torah, what the definition of discretion is. Now, discretion often is it'll say discretion in the Bible, but there might be another Hebrew word under it. That's why there's 2 Hebrew words on this page. Because that's going to get you to look at the, if you will, synonym for the word discretion, another word that relates to that word Hebrew. So let's read through it. So this is from Study 24. The word is discretion, and it's sekel. Okay? On your page, you'll see this spelled with a stomach and a shin. If you don't know what Hebrew letters are, I'll explain them as we go through that sheet. Okay? The reason why is sometimes throughout history, the sonnet and the shin would be used interchangeably because they both make the sound. Very simple. And so sometimes you'll see it translated both ways with one with the sonnet or the shin, but the root definition is going to be the same. Okay, so the variation is very slight. Most people know this verse, so there's an anchor verse, and it says, "As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman who is without discretion." Fair is like King James or beautiful, right? So just right there, you're gonna immediately be given a concrete working definition. Interesting thing about the Proverbs is it's a proverb, which is it's gonna give you a description of something that you are familiar with in a way to make it connect in your mind. Okay, so immediately you have to get the picture in your mind. Beautiful woman, right? And then, but without discretion. So just put a person in your mind, or first thing in mind, I wrote a lot of pictures actually that beautiful, but that's just not good. Cardi B, right? Literally, I'm just thinking like a woman who like the world presents as beautiful, no discretion. Absolutely no discretion. When a person says that God made you a stripper so that he can get you to where you are, that is exactly what God made me a stripper so I can get it. That is a lack of discretion. Right? Yes.
Something that's very precious that nobody would ever want, like a jewel.
Right. It's something that everybody should want, but any person with good sense would want it. Right? Once this person gets hold to it. Have you ever, we've probably never seen one, but imagine, so you have this beautiful woman, lacking discretion. We can use a bunch of celebrities. People get upset when I use celebrities. But the reason why I do is because they put themselves in a position to be a spokesperson, not just our culture, but for women. And when you put yourself in that position, you put yourself in a position to be scrutinized. Because I put myself in the position I do, I put myself in a position to be scrutinized. And if you mislead the people, if you mislead the culture, then it is my job as a person anti that to speak out about it. Because our young women and young men are looking at these people, and they go out and they look for women who look like this, and they look for women who act like this, and then the young women want to be women that look like that and act like that, and unless somebody else speaks up and says something about it, then that's okay.
Right.
Because it's difficult, especially with the younger generation, to try and teach them more when that looks more appealing. And so if what we do is not appealing, and if we never say anything about that, then it just leaves it as an option. You can either do this or this. And that's not it. Tamar, perfect example. Cardi B, out with the Canaanites. You, being a Hebrew, you get out here with these women, you look at them, you want to be like them, and then look what happens. Right? I mean, I said Tamar. Why did they correct me? Dinah. Right? Right? Everybody's like, yeah, okay. Dinah. Right? Anybody know the story? We don't. She literally was enamored by the Canaanite women. And she went out there and kind of got treated like she was one of them. Like, oh, out here, this is how we get down. When I want a woman, right? So I sleep her, like, my wife. It's like, whoa. And the Canaanite men, they're fly too. Right? They got the nice haircuts. Right? They do just right. They order J's. Crispy pants, religion jeans. They work out. Don't have no job though. They be fine. Like, you know, I will support you, and you be fine because. But you see it's a thing, right? It's appealing. Okay, so the picture of them though, without discretion, which are men and women, right, is like a pig with a ring in its snout. If you've ever seen a pig's snout, it's nasty. Right? It's like, it's wet, and oftentimes it has food mixed with fecal matter on it because they are rooting animals where they stay with their nose in the dirt. Right? They're always in something filthy. And then you go, and gold is expensive. And a gold that's big enough to be noticed in a pig snout would be, so gold is about, like $1,400 an ounce right now, right? So an ounce of gold is not much. And it would take about an ounce of gold to put in a pig snout. You took $1,400 of money that you probably didn't have, right? And you put it in a pig snout to show the beauty of the pig. I'm not going to see the beauty of the pig, and I'm going to see you as being wasteful, right? And so that's what that picture of the proverb is saying. It's pretty much wasteful for you to be that beautiful and to have nothing that's attractive. Have you ever wondered why beautiful women get dogged by men? It's often because you don't see the value in you, and you're trying to appeal to what's appealing to him, and he doesn't see it either. Does that make sense? So it's like a lack of discretion. Why? I hear women say this all the time, and I think all women are beautiful, so don't get me wrong. But I hear them saying, she's not even as fine as her, and he married her. Discretion. It often comes down to discretion. So he'll run through all those fine girls and then get what he would consider a basic chick. Oh, but that basic package is also premium, right? Right? Where while he was running through all the fine chicks, the basic chick was in college and she was getting her life together and she's, she's worth something. She put all the content in to be worth something. So that's the picture. It's like a compare and contrast. Okay, so then what is discretion? So how do we practice discretion? Can you be non-discreet and then become discreet? Absolutely. The whole purpose of the Hebrew language is to show you, in the Hebrew culture and the Bible, to show you what is not right, what is right, so that you can transition from being what is not right to what is right. At any time. At any time. That's why the beauty of our culture is, India, you're a new creature. You're a new creation. Which means when I start doing this, I don't want to hear about what I did yesterday. That's whole business. Like, I don't have time. You want to be in the past, you be in the past. That's where you'll stay. Good for you. But as I start moving forward, I don't want to hear about yesterday. I don't want to hear about, well, when you used to, yeah, and you used to. Right? You can go back and forth with that. So the beauty of the language is once you get and start functioning in the Hebraic culture and in what Yah sees as beautiful and lovely and perfect and righteous, I don't have to deal with that anymore. I'm going to leave that man back there. I'm not dragging around a dead body, right? Because it stinks. And it's heavy, right? I'm not going to do that so that you can be like, but didn't you used to? Yeah, used to is back here. I'm dragging her. That's used to. No, used to, if you want to meet used to, go where she's buried. Go visit her grave and talk to dead people. Mom goes, people like to talk to dead stuff. Right? Yeah, people like to necromance. I don't want to necromance with my whole self. She can be over here. I'm moving forward. And I'll continue to leave dead selves behind as I continue to learn and grow more. Oh, there's another dead body buried over there. Right? Now I'm going to be a mass murderer. Right? Yeah. There will be lots. I can point you in the direction of used to, would have been, could have been. Yeah, but I'm going to keep moving forward. Okay. So discretion, Sekel. The first one, if you buy the book or if you have the book, how it's organized is you'll see the pictograph form, right? That's at the top, and then there's like a line, underlined portion, and it says Strong's, and then AHLB. AHLB is Hebrew Lexicon, which is a download. You can download it or purchase it on Amazon. And then Strong's Concordance, most of you guys have one of those, and if you don't, it's probably off the back of your left Bible as well. And it gives you the numbers so that you can reference the parts of the definition that I put here. I put the concrete most of the time on there so you can see how it looks. But if you want to go and look at like all the different English translations of that word, you can go click on that Strong's number or look at that Strong's number and get everything. Okay? Underneath there, it says ability to consider. So the first thing about discretion is the ability to consider. It says it doesn't have anything after consider because it's all things. It's not consider, put whatever you need to put there. The ability to consider. Okay? Consider other people. Consider their feelings. Consider how what you're going to do is going to make, how it's going to make other people feel, how it's going to affect your life. The ability to consider. Next is weigh information for gain. We don't want to take L's. We don't want to keep taking L's. Like we're over it, right? Let's stop taking L's. So to weigh information for gain. Every time I make a decision, it needs to be moving me forward. So discretion is when I make a decision, I'm weighing the information for how it's going to advance me when it comes to Yah and His WORD. Not taking me down. Okay? Understanding. That's pretty much self-explanatory. We'll work through all these. Sense. You don't have good sense. So discretion, lack of discretion is not having good sense. To be discreet is to have good sense. And we know that common sense is not often common, right? but practicing sense. What does sense mean? What are our senses? You may go preschool. What are our smell, sight, hear, right? Common sense often is based upon just using those 5 senses. So having good sense is not necessarily just this, but literally taking into consideration every single thing, right? How you see it, how it smells, how it feels, how it tastes, how you heard it. Taking all that into consideration before you make a decision about anything. If all those elements are not there, maybe it's not a decision you should make. Okay, and then prudence. This is an abstract, but I like the word. Prudence, regularly people say, she's a prudence. What does that mean? She holds back, right? Holding back is good. Holding back can also be for self-preservation, right? So that's a part of discretion. All right? And then there's at the bottom, there's a base verse to show you how it's used in Scripture. And then we'll, on the back sheet, I know we're moving fast, we're going to work this through slowly in our group. Okay? The verse says, and anybody can read it. Somebody read that one.
The second verse.
The first one in English, right below prudence.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did.
So the word there is she used her discretion. See how that word has both a negative and a positive charge? Because there was a negative outcome. But did she use all of her 5 senses? Go back and read it. So pick out what she did. The woman saw. It's good for food. She touched it. She tasted it. She thought about it. Right? I'm pretty sure she probably smelled it. Probably smelled good. All of that. She took it in its completion. She literally sat there and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. She went through the whole process. That is what you would consider a presumptuous sin. Presumptuous sin is an unforgivable type of sin. It comes with the consequence of death. Why? You know it's wrong. You thought it through. You rationalized it. You took it in. Right? You pondered it. So that verse where it says, first you think about sin, right? Then, after that, it's going to give birth to death. It's going to kill you. Why? Because you're going to actually think about it enough and then do it. And once you do it, it's premeditated murder. You premeditatedly, that's a word, I'm making that. Premeditatedly murdered yourself. Because you thought all the way through and you committed this sin. And blatant disobedience, that kind, it's not accident. It wasn't accidental at all. She was like, oh, I slipped and the fruit fell in my mouth and I just bit down. No, she thought about it, touched it, knew what it was when she had it in her hand. She took it all the way out. Okay, so you see, to make one wise. Why? Discretion will make you wise, though. Using discretion for gain will add to your wisdom. Using discretion to do what you want to do will kill you. Make sense? Okay. Next one on the back. This is one on yesterday with Dan and Shafak, or Shafak, which is the word for judge. So indiscretion, the synonym for discretion is to judge. Why? After I take it all in, I need to be able to judge myself and then what I'm thinking about doing. Often we judge what we're thinking about doing and we never judge self. What is my motive for wanting to do that? Why? Why? We don't question ourselves. Self is always right? And anytime anybody questions your motive or judges your motive, they're like, oh, you're judging me, right? Actually, I'm just trying to figure out why you want to do it, right? Okay. So the word judge, create order and harmony. The purpose of judging yourself is to create order and harmony. If you judge yourself, you can't have cognitive dissonance. Because I'm always going to be putting myself back into that middle place of coming to a conclusion, being discreet, and then walking into the proper thing that I'm supposed to do. Regulating your mind by judging yourself is a thing. A lot of reasons why we have anxiety and depression is because we won't judge the thoughts. You don't take the thought captive and judge why. Why is it here? What is it doing? And then do something about it. And sometimes the things that we have to do to get out of those spaces are hard things, but if we stay in the loop, right, then it creates loss. Loss of time, loss of activity, loss of interaction with people. I could judge myself. Like, for instance, this is the anxiety that most of us have as women, just because we don't know how spaces are going to go with women. Social anxiety. I have it terrible when I get in spaces. I'm just like, I look at you, I'm gonna look over there at the tree because I don't know what your look is. Some people have RBF, and if you don't know what that is, and so I can't, right? And so it'll keep you from interacting in spaces where there actually is a lot of wealth of knowledge and growth to be had in those spaces. But so I have to check myself. Am I here for those people? Am I here for their faces? What am I going for? Am I going for people to like me? Am I going for the experience? You see how we have to judge it. What is it? What is it me? Oh, do I want to feel special? Do I want people to like me? Do I judge it? And then push through. Okay? Making decisions. Decisions are often hard to make sometimes as women because it takes us a long time. Because we have to take everything into consideration, right? We have to go through the whole cyclical process. If you're married and you're making decisions, it's difficult because men can just make the decision and like, well, think about what's gonna happen later. And I'm like, but if you say that, if you do that, then this person's gonna email you. And they're gonna, he's like, I can't go through all that you're gonna go through before you get ready to do something for me to do something. And so that balance of overthinking everything, but also thinking things through, where that's where we come in as a really good balance in relationships. My husband's like, I would say most husbands are reactionary, and most women are proactive. Reactionary meaning if somebody did that, kill him. But can we just prevent somebody from doing that so you don't have to kill them? Right? Right? Like base nature. I'll react to it when it happens, and we're like, can we just prevent it from happening all the way across the board? Okay. Somebody want to read that Psalm 19:9?
The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether.
So the idea of our judgment should be likened to Yah's judgment, right? Discretion is wisdom, right? And both of these things come from Yah. But judgment, we want our judgment to be linear with his. How would he judge something? How would he look at it? How would he deal with it? It will be his process. And the beauty of Scripture is we get his process on how he deals with things. And sometimes he deals with things differently than we think he will. He's definitely a father when it comes to certain things. And it helps us in community, especially with women and certain big things. They're like, oh, you're not, you really know. Oh, I saw you. And you was, I'm like, whoa. Pump your brakes. This is the father. He's like, no, that's what you all are for. Restore. Reconciliation. Go out. Hey, sis, I remember you were in this walk, and I'm looking at your Instagram, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not getting ready to judge you like I'm not dealing with you. What can I do? What happened? Where can I support? Do you need a person that you can just talk to? Where I'm going to say, okay, got it all out on the table. What's our next step? Because a lot of people, when they fall off, if you will, they don't know the next step to get back in. Because part of it is confession. But if I tell somebody who doesn't love me, then they're going to judge me. And then they're going to say, you know what? Yeah, you don't need to be a part of this. You're not in. You're not real. Right? And then the people that do that, when it happens to them, because it's going to happen to each and every one of us, we're not perfect, then when it happens to you, you're going to hide it. And then you're not going to confess it. And you're not going to fix it. And then you might find yourself again. So putting things out on the table, people you trust. Don't go around telling about your business. The idea of discretion is also being discreet. So everybody that wants to, how can I pray for you? You can't. You can't. I don't believe you, first of all. Just pray for me. Because that is like, for me, I feel like that's like that way of like, how can I know something about you that's intimate between you and Yah, and then judge you? Because it feels like that. Because that's like intimate. That's just like saying, have you heard the wonderful news of Jesus Christ? Do you know where you're going to go today when you die? Dang. Death. Right now, I'm just trying to go to work. Sometimes it's like really in your personal space, and we need to think about how personal some of the questions are we ask each other. Also, I said this, I don't know if I said it online, but I did say it in the women's space in Arizona, Los Angeles. stop becoming friends with people because of familiar trauma. That's
Say
all
that
it is.
again.
Stop becoming friends with people because of familiar trauma. It's a thing we do as women. We can all admit it. It's like, oh, you've been through this?
Me
Me too. And it creates this like thing.
The Me Too movement.
It is the Me Too movement. Like it's the trauma version. The Uber trauma version. We do that. Oh, you used to be in a camp? Me too. I'm traumatized by that experience. Let's keep talking about how we're traumatized about being in a camp and never move forward. I'm not saying not to be friends with people who have been through stuff. We all have. But don't let that be your basis. Also, vomiting and bleeding all over people. That's a thing too. When we get how we are supposed to fix something, we're supposed to support each other through fixing it. But if you, every time it's like, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, I'm blocking your number. Like, no, I'm just, but no, not that, but it's the idea of like, do you want to move forward? Because sometimes we want to just, sometimes we do our ask holes. Yes, I want to ask, and you pour all of my good, I'm like researching with you, like, okay, she needs to, she says she, okay, next, okay. And it's going nowhere. You have to be discreet about how you pour out. Casting pearls before swine, putting a ring in a pig's snout. These are things that we've been doing over and over again, especially in church, and that's why I don't know if anybody else had this issue. I was a pastor, so I did. Where you end up in these women's circles and you start to loathe them. You loathe them. Nobody wants to grow. Everybody just wants to overshare. And then when we leave the space, we have not moved forward in any way. We're still doing the same exact things. Especially if you're a young one, you're just like, oh my gosh, you say one more thing, you're like the shoes I have on, or the pants I have on, or the, I'm just not going. And it happens within our fellowship and camps too, where you have these spaces where it's like, okay, it's this, but make sure when you cover your head, that little, lock that in, baby, tuck that in. And it's a thing. We have to stop. We have to start using our discretion, using our judgment, and how we treat and handle one another. Okay? So it's kind of worked out kind of good that we have tables. We're going to work in our tables. Okay? For a couple reasons. One, I don't believe in coincidence. Then where anybody sits or where anybody dwells, yes. My head wraps around.
Yeah.
This is what sisters do.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to tell a story about this. Goes under here. I'm not going to tell a small story. But there's a situation under here. If this comes off, I will be like this. Together. It's a mess. It's a mess. I'm going to make a video about it after I get the situation together. But,
You saw your moms?
We're not even going there.
right, it's a situation. It was discretion. It's not a discretion. Yeah, these people are discreet. It's like properly judged by a person who doesn't do. Okay, so we're gonna work through this using our sheet at our tables. One of the things, and you've been to school, because it's part of the law here. Talk at your table. If you don't understand something, everybody should have their form filled out. Copy the person next to you if you don't know what you're doing. Ask questions. You know how this works. You know how this works. We're going to go through it. And for the first one, it might be a little confusing. Write in the letter's name. It should be letter's name. So if it's Shin, write Shin. And then write what it means under it. So eat, consume, destroy. If you don't know that, there is somebody at your table who knows it. So what does the pictograph for Shin mean? Does everybody know the alphabet here? Some of it? Can you see the table? And then just kind of squeeze in. And we're going to work through. I'm going to bounce around because unfortunately that's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn off the camera because I won't be able to share. And once I turn off the camera, this space, if you can't hear me, I'll wait for the train to happen. Because the next part I'm really serious about. I'm never serious until I'm serious and I'm super serious. Once I turn off my camera, the space becomes a safe space. So I'm a very good remember of faces, not necessarily names. Anything that's outside of the space when my camera is off is like uber taboo. Like, it just seriously is. And because we have to, as women, also have safe spaces. Where the things that we share here, how we go through things, how we work through them, are shared with people who can support us through it. And not people who are just like, oh, she shared this, now I can tell somebody else this. If it's not to edify, don't share it. And especially if it's personal, absolutely don't share it, even if it is to help somebody. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. For people online, I will post this, Lauren will post this in the comment section so you can also work through this particular part of the worksheet, this lesson. We're going to go through discretion and we're going to fill in the boxes. And there's also writing prompts within here to kind of guide you along and throughout the process. So after this goes off, we're